Hey everybody, it's John here. Welcome back to Over the Reich. When we last left, it was turn 17. Now we're at turn 23. Spacing these out a little bit more for you. I don't think you need turn by turn by turn playthroughs unless there's something really fun going on. Um, so for example, if I ever pick up a huge bomber stream and start tracking them and attacking them all through Germany, I'll make sure that you see all that. Um, but what I do want to point out to you is I feel like I had a really good turn today. Let's go back to report options, review the list of attacks we've made this turn. I was able to kill 32 of his units this turn. I mean, I trounced them, and I only lost 2 of mine during the attacks from reactive fire. So I shot down 8 Spitfires, a Hurricane, 3 Bullfighters, 4 P-47, 6 Sterlings, 1 A-20, 4 B-17s. I'm just going to let you all bask in this while I pause and mute to sneeze. Okay, well, anyways, excuse me. And also damaged, killed some damaged B-17s. The big win here was that I was able to basically attack a whole bunch of stuff that I found at low altitude. So low altitude is a real gamble for Garfield or the Allies, especially if it's B-17s and P-47s. And I'm not 100% sure that he knows this, but I mean the documentation in the game will tell you this. Let's see if I can get out of this. Hang on. Different aircraft react differently at different altitudes. And I've tried to make it similar to how it was in real life. So, it has better reaction attacks at high altitude, has a very powerful dive bonus. I caught him with P-47s trying to escort B-17s down low, and he had Spitfires up high. I would have reversed that. I would have had the Spitfires down low with the B-17s, and I would have had the P-47s up high to try and dive. If he had the P-47s up high, a lot of these units would have been slaughtered. But also another thing just to point out, I don't know if this is in the documentation, but he and I have talked about it a lot. Yeah, I actually have to add to this because this doesn't tell you. But the B-17s, actually all of the heavy bombers, will not react defensively at low altitude. And I know it's not like their machine guns suddenly stop working if they're at treetop height, but that is put in there so that there is a check and a balance to somebody that's just trying to go low altitude everywhere, kind of skirt past, fly nape of the earth, so to speak, and really spread out the defenders in kind of a pretty unrealistic way. If you were flying at low altitude, you were getting shot to hell. In most cases. I mean, if you didn't achieve surprise, you were in a lot of trouble. Low altitude has all sorts of flak that could shoot you. Every single guy with a gun could theoretically shoot you. So just flying at low altitude is dangerous. So, I mean, he brought his B-17s. I think he was trying to bring them back home, I believe. Low altitude, I probably would have had him go up high and have the P-47s defend him there, and I think he would have done a little bit better tactically. But, you live, you learn, he'll figure it out. He's a smart guy, and it won't be this easy in the future. Did kind of leave myself exposed. I know there's this Spitfire, but, I have some, I have these guys right here. I had one here and here, so I was really scoping out the area, and, I don't think that he has more than just this, frankly. So I could be wrong. I could be in for a really nasty surprise, but I was able to kill a ton of fighters right here, including I think I don't think I got the aircraft carrier, but I definitely got the aircraft off of the aircraft carrier. I think he has an aircraft carrier over here, and when I went to attack this particular spot, the air protected stack mechanism kicked off, we have this system where we don't want an air unit to just sit over one of the targets so that the bombers can't kill the target, okay? Because the bomb munition doesn't attack air units, so if you had a fighter, over one of these, right? And the bomber normally would come over there to attack it. Normal Civ 2 mechanisms state that that would be all you have to do to defend it. You just put a fighter on there and the bomb can never touch it until the fighter's killed first, right? And then you have the weird situation where, okay, and you bring a fighter along, something that can take on the fighter. Well, this industry has better defense, so it's actually going to defend the fighter. It's just totally unrealistic and something we didn't want. So what we've done instead, is make it so that if a bomber calls up bombs, or really I think anything calls up ammo, right next to something, that we don't want to be defended by an air unit, then that air unit is actually moved via Lua over to the next spot. So that really worked against him here, because these task forces are air protected units, the type of units that we don't want the air to protect, rather. Sorry for being so clumsy there. So when he put a carrier on the same tile as this, what made that happen is that what then happened, sorry, it's 5:13 in the morning. What then happened is that all of the units, the air units that were on that carrier, moved over a space, and I actually was able to nail them in one shot with an Expertin, well, not even an Expertin, just an Ace 190, firing Ace munitions against, I suppose, probably regular units, or maybe we just got very lucky. But the bottom line is 6 air units were destroyed in one attack. So that was a big blow, and I can almost guarantee you most of those 6 were the Spitfires that you saw there. So we tore up his defense is pretty, or his offensive capability pretty good there. He might have something hanging around where I didn't see him, and so potentially all this is going to be dead. I'm taking a little bit of a risk with this guy right here. I mean, there are 2 of these things, but I'm going to try and see if I can sink one maybe. I don't know. We'll see. If the fact that there's 2 is kind of a problem. I did do a little quick check in here again just to make sure his army was there, because I was worried that it might be stacked here and he might be going for like a raid, which I wouldn't recommend doing, because if he takes any of these cities and I send him back into the sea, I win. But this particular air base is pretty vulnerable. This one's exceptionally vulnerable, although I don't have anything in it, and even like this air base has the potential to be killed. So, anyways, it was a good turn. We'll see what happens. But back to the points. He has 208 points, so he's about 17 points away from where he needs to be by turn 25 to get another battle group. And, I mean, it's achievable for him. I don't think that these things... pretty sure these things haven't attacked yet. I don't believe they did. I think they're on the way to strike something. They can't reach this, which is 7.5 points. They can reach these, which are 2.5 each. They have a fighter escort right now, but it's at extreme range, so they need to move away from that fighter escort to attack anything. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to keep all 4 of these aircraft here, and even build one here, and I'm going to get them on the next turn. I'm just going to let them go because I don't want that Spitfire to interfere. It's already going to be hard enough trying to take on, 4 or 5 B-17s. So here I'm exposed again, but I have some units providing high cover to dive on the lower cover ones, and I don't know that he has enough aircraft to take out that whole amount. So just looking at defenses, I have 16 190s now, and that's even after losing 2, so that's kind of exciting. I finally got past the 14 mark. I have a tremendous amount of fuel. I mean, I'm now able to build or to research technologies every 2 turns and still maintain the good fuel production. And then if I really needed to start, increasing my units, excuse me, I could really bump it up and I could start churning some stuff out. a few turns in, and I could probably have a quite a good build up. But right now I'm just kind of going for, trying to get some technologies. And just so you know, the strategy behind my technologies, I went with Advanced Radar 1. Because what it does is it actually extends the reach of these things. So for one thing, and secondly, it moves on towards night fighters. So I finally have my Freiburg station and this station over here and this station. And now they can see further and they're more likely to give accurate readings. So I did that. Now I'm currently researching Night Fighters 2, which I should get next turn. After that, I'm going to go to Vilda Sau so that I can, have that flexibility for one, and also so that, I'm really thinking I might bring Schnaufer over here. I might bring him to daytime operations and just use him as a regular expertin. I am 30 aircraft kills or points rather away from getting my third expertin. So I could have 3 of them by day, and that's like having 3 jets, by what will that be? Like maybe before turn 30, certainly. The jets are more powerful, they can attack better, and they can make more attacks, but these are really good defensive units. 14 defense, it's the highest one of an aircraft that I have in the game. They can attack 4 times. They're really definitely very, very useful to have, and if I can get 3 of them stacked up, I mean, the other thing is they're really great at attacking the escorts because, yeah, the 110s don't get triggered by bomber defenses, but the escorts tear them to shreds, and actually we're losing a lot of those because they're super vulnerable. After they attack, they can only move 1 space, so he shot down a lot of those. The Expertin, though, I've been using them to try to engage and kill the fighters to the best that I can, and hopefully kill a bomber stack as well by doing it, which happened a couple times this turn. So I try to whittle it down like that. So if I can get 3 of them concentrated, I really feel strong about that. And then I think I have a really good chance with the 4th one, because I just need to defend the Schweinfurt raid, which will eventually show up. Anyways, so when Schweinfurt happens, I just need to make sure I don't let anything get killed there. And the biggest danger is going to come probably from the south, because he's going to try to. If I was him, I would save anything I get in Italy. I would just hold on to it. I would build it up as much as I can. Probably rush build aircraft every couple turns, and just try to build up everything I need to go to Schweinfurt and Regensburg and win that battle, because it's really hard to get all the way from England and kill both of those. But if you can strike from the 15th Air Force, you have a much better chance, in my opinion. Look, you're talking like maybe 2 turns of exposure to get these, as opposed to however many that is, 6, 7, 8. It's crazy. So, anyways, right now things seem to be going fairly well. But on the other hand, totally lost the Battle of the Atlantic. I have like 2 U-boats. It's at the point where if I send them out here, they just get killed. So I'm actually, any U-boats that I can get, I'm thinking I might just bring them into the channel, hide them right here in this river, and try to use them to help attack any invasion fleet. I mean, it's really that at that point, and I'm not expecting to get any more U-boats, frankly. Most of them have been killed. I'm not building new ones. The Battle of the Atlantic is completely and totally lost, and frankly, this Stuka right here should probably maybe go here and just any kind of, use that too against any kind of invasion force. You will note I have a construction team here. It's going to be building these installation terrain so that I can start moving some forces over here and trying to build up this area. I think this beach is the one that I'm really going to concentrate on. But that wouldn't stop him from just in a few turns moving over here and then launching it here. So there's a lot of things he can do, but the further west I can make him invade, at least the theory is, the longer it's going to take him to march east, so I might be able to claw out some kind of victory if I can keep him and kind of force him to invade, call it west of Le Havre instead of east of it. So I really want to make this area a poor choice for his invasion. But anyways, with that, I will let you guys go. The video's getting a little long, so have a good one.